burning in me. All of the noise turned into choirs of heart.
Let's listen to Pavarotti.
Hello, welcome to The Revealing. I'm your host, Pavarotti, here to discuss the Idaho 4 case. In this episode, we're going to dive into known facts about the atrocity itself. I'm going to do my best not to interject my opinions or assertions about the circumstances surrounding the atrocity, and simply give you an honest timeline of events along with video evidence and circumstantial facts. Once this is done, if you can truly believe that law enforcement thought for a second that this was a one-off Ted Bundy committing these crimes versus an actual operation of individuals, then I don't know what else I can possibly do. But here it is. Without my opinions, the atrocity. You decide for yourself.
Was it the voice? Was it the fire burning in me?
Now, I've taken the liberty to document on a timeline every event during the time of the atrocity, immediate before and immediate after, that we will be using to determine the answer to our question. Starting with the fact that we know that at least by 12 a.m. this hatchback is parked in the Linda Lane apartments, because the first video we have on it at 12 shows it is there and it doesn't leave until 4:23. As you can see in the extended aerial view of the King Road neighborhood, where the house is, where it would be right here. And we'll see that vehicle parked at the Linda Lane apartments right here already at 12, when video surveillance begins to give us a peek into this situation. The next event happens at 1:32 a.m. where we hear people in the Linda Lane apartments calling out to a familiar face and letting them know that they see him there. And that would be none other than one of our perps, Mr. Farley. Assume he would be perched at the same spot as you see this creeper, right there at the top of the stairs going down to the King Road residence, where he could have full view of all the comings and goings the night of the atrocity. What is this creeper doing there anyways at a later date is a real question. But we know that's a fact based on actual footage from Linda Lane. Then at 3:15 a.m., we have video proof of a gentleman walking up Linda Lane past the dumpster heading towards the King Road residence.
In the corner of the room, not ready to resume, 'cause like I'm taking, don't wanna be alone, but I'm not in the zone. I'm looking for somebody. I'm looking for somebody.
Now, I think you would agree that based on that person's movements, it could easily be assumed that he's heading straight towards the King Road house at 3:15 a.m. Then we know that based on the PCA at 329, that's when the first pass of what they've identified to be a white Elantra makes its way around the King Road neighborhood. Let's take a look at the manner in which that happens, and then we'll look at the video evidence to prove it's a fact. But we know when that Elantra makes the turn right here that it's caught on video from the Linda Lane camera. Then at 3:38 a.m., we see the exact same thing happen, the second pass of the Elantra. But then at 3:50 a.m., we see something that I think is highly suspect considering the time, the manner in which he heads towards Linda Lane, and the time frame that law enforcement said that the atrocity happened in between 4 and 4:25 a.m. This is what I believe is the straw that broke the camel's back. We're going to watch that again, but this time I want you to listen close and keep in mind that we have never seen anybody walk towards this vehicle from either direction, and it's been sitting there since before midnight. The dome light does not come on when he opens the door, and listen to how easy he is trying to close the door, not to make any sounds. Then again at 3:57 a.m., we see the third pass of the Elantra. Now at 4 a.m., although we have no video evidence to back this up, but the PCA states that DoorDash, a driver delivers food to Xana at 4 a.m. Then at 4:04 a.m., the PCA says a suspected Elantra drives up Queen Road and at 4:04 turns around at Queen Road Apartments and then heads back down Queen Road, even though they say the atrocity started 4 minutes before this. Then at 4:07, the PCA says that the white Elantra makes its last pass around the King Road Apartments. Now, next, the PCA states that the Elantra is seen speeding out of the neighborhood at 4:20 a.m. We can't confirm that with video, but here's what they're describing. Then at 4:23, still between the time of the atrocity, according to law enforcement, we see somebody return to that hatchback that's been there all night, get in it, and leave, going practically the same way that the Elantra did before him, but this time making a right on Taylor instead of a left on Walenta. Then, based on the time that that vehicle left the King Road neighborhood, we can assume that it went east on Taylor because of the time frame it drives past the camera on Linda Lane right here. Then finally, we have the dumpster guy pops back out again and is picked up at 5 a.m., just 35 minutes after the atrocity.
That's it.
Now, based on everything that you just seen, all factual events documented by video of the atrocity on King Road, we've got cars circling the neighborhood that don't match the times that law enforcement says that the atrocities occurred between 4 and 4:25 a.m. You can clearly see that that white car making its last pass, it couldn't have even parked until 4:09. The atrocity, according to law enforcement, had been going on for 9 minutes. They said it sped away at 4:20. But yet they say the atrocity kept going till 4:25. Yet we have actual people converging on the King Road residence, one heading towards it on foot at 3:50 a.m., and then returning to a vehicle and driving off at 4:23 a.m. And then another perpetrator ascending at 3:15, doesn't pop back up until 5 a.m. And then both are carted away in what looks to me like a very similar vehicle. But if you can honestly look at the facts and ignore the absolutely bogus one piece of evidence that they're tying Bryan Kohberger to the entire crime on a piece of DNA that is more controversial than any DNA you'll ever hear of, can you honestly say that law enforcement, experienced investigators would look at all of this and say, well, it was a lone perp and it was this guy in this car? Keep an open mind, think deeply. It was important for me to do this video because I wanted to get all of that factual evidence to you before the next video, where I will show some additional details that all but proves my theory. But when people say I can't say if Kohberger is innocent or guilty based on the evidence that's been shown to me, I don't know what other evidence that you need to understand the fact that there is no way anybody could assert that Bryan Kohberger, at the very least, was a lone Ted Bundy guy. I think you'd agree with that. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Post your comments, thoughts, criticisms. Till next time, Pavarotti's out.
Was it the fire burning in me?